What's up, people? Welcome back to Chris Chats Comics. My name is Chris Gonzalez, and I'm back for another episode of Single Issue Saturdays. And this is the series where I discuss and give recaps on the issues that I picked up either from this past Wednesday on New Comic Wednesdays, which you can also check out my latest episode. It was a shorter one this week, but you can take a look at that. But I'll also go over some of the digital issues that I read this week as well. And it's still going to be a short week this week because again, I only picked up one physical issue and I'm only going over one digital issue. But yeah, let's get this started. And they're both from DC, so shout out to DC Comics. They've been killing it. The physical issue I picked up again was Green Lantern Corps issue 12. This is written by Morgan Hampton, and there's a bunch of artists on this one. Artwork's done by Fernando Pasarin, Will Conrad, Eau Claire Albert, and Jason Paz. The colorists were Arif Brianto and Ian Herring, and the lettering's done by Dave Sharp. So again, we're still in the aftermath of the Sunbreaker or the Starbreaker Supremacy crossover event with the mainline Green Lantern title. And Morgan Hampton, he is now full writer of the series. Jeremy Adams was co-writing it, but now Morgan, he's writing full time. And I didn't like the first issue. The last issue, issue 11, was a lot better. And this is in issue 12 is my favorite out of the issues that Morgan wrote full time. So yeah, and it deals with all the different Lantern Corps are now stationed on Oa, and they're having growing pains and they're having trouble, getting along with each other and coexisting on Oa. So this issue dives deep into that. And last issue, Jessica Cruz, she's the Green Lantern Corps leader. She informed everyone like, hey, you guys better get your act right, and until you do, we're gonna have a Green Lantern representative at each section to make sure that the peace is kept and to regulate everything. So yeah, and it's also dealing with this new villain called Inquar, where he wants revenge on the Green Lanterns because they had dropped off alien species in his home world, also called Inquar. And the species that the Green Lantern Corps brought over to Inquar destroyed the planet, polluted it completely, and only one of the sentient species were left, and he calls himself Inquar. They were kind of like a hive mind on this ocean planet, and now he's, has all that knowledge with him. So the issue starts with, I'm not sure if it was kind of confusing because it says they're in the Procyon system here, but so I'm not sure if they're on his old home world, but they're on some type of water planet, him and Fatality. And he's telling Fatality she was kind of on the fence she wanted revenge against the Green Lanterns, but since she has a past relationship with John Stewart, she agreed to, make amends with all the families of the Green Lanterns that she killed. But then Inquar, convinced her to go with him to, assist with his revenge plan against the Green Lantern Corps. So she's still on the fence, and he kind of has this telepathic ability to peer into people's minds. So whenever he's not in her vicinity, he doesn't have that telepathic connection with her. But yeah, Inquar jumps in the water, and he takes over it and he terraforms the planet essentially. And I thought this part was pretty cool. Fatality asks like, hey, like, what does she ask? She's like, the water, it's all you. And Anquar's like, every single ounce is at my command. And she says, this isn't reviving your planet, it's controlling it. And Anquar then replies, control, a necessary trait I've learned from you organics. Spreading myself throughout the water more evenly would give my duplicates too much autonomy, and there's no time for that. For this to work, I need to coordinate my pawns from a safe place. So I feel like that's going to bite him in the butt later on. So we'll see if that comes back into play. So yeah, and then we'll see what happens. What is their plan for revenge? Then it jumps back to Oa, and I liked how it highlights the different sections of Oa that each Lantern Corps is at. So they're right here. They're Kilowog, Guy Gardner, and their cadets. They're still going through the training, and Kilowog decides that he needs to expedite the cadets' training. So they talk about creating crutches, and that's pretty much like their go-to construct whenever they're in a moment where they need something that's reliable. So that's pretty much what they're teaching them. But then it cuts to Jessica Cruz. She relays this message throughout the different sections of Oa, and I liked how this page, it showcases the different sections, and it showcases Simon Bass and Joe Mullen. They're looking at the it's like a construct hologram of her giving the speech, and liked how it went through the Blue Lanterns, their area, and then the Sinestro Corps, and then the Red Lanterns, and also she was broadcasting from where Larfleeze is. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Larfleeze. Let me know how you pronounce the Orange Lantern. But yeah, they're on his island because they feel that he's up to something, and they're right. He is. Since he's the emotional, his powers based on greed. He tricks them and tries to kill them all. I just liked their surprise. The power battery, it's supposed to be in this particular section where all the power batteries are, and being, he feeds off greed. He wants to control Oa, so he plans to attack all the representatives and try to take control of Oa. But look, blows the island up. Really cool visual. Loving the coloring. And so yeah, then he attacks the main city on Oa, and then they explain that the reason that Kilowog and Guy, they're overseeing the Indigo tribe because they're in a meditative state. They're trying to seek out the reincarnation of the emotional entities, and Kilowog, he states that all the cores are trying to do that and to no avail. So I thought that was cool. So it gives kind of foreshadowing that the emotional entities might come back. But when Larfleeze, he attacked the Thanagars that are refugeeing in the area, they're being manipulated and controlled by his energy. So they start attacking, and then the cadets have to attack them. And it's cool that they use their crutches, so what they learned in the training to fight the Thanagarians. And so yeah, I really liked the pacing in this issue a lot more. Way better paced than the other two issues that Morgan wrote, so I appreciated that. And yeah, so you know, they're just trying to deal with Les Feliz. So all the core are trying to fight him and, you know, subdue him. And then while that is happening, the Indigo tribe, they are sensing a celestial mass heading towards Oa. And then Aya, she uses her, I think, energy ghost. I forgot what they call it, but her astral projection, she does that to go into space. And it's not just a celestial mass, but here's Aya. But she's going into space. She realizes that it's a whole planet. Bum, bum, bum. So Inquar moved the whole planet that he took over, and now he's about to attack Oa. So really dope issue. One of the best since Morgan Hampton took over full time. Really liked it. Recommend, and I'm curious for the next one. So the next and the final issue that I'm going to go over for this episode is DCKO issue number 3, and it's the big release. And yeah, this issue, it's written by Scott Snyder and Joshua Williamson, and the art's by Javi Fernandez and Zermanico. Colors are by Alejandro Sanchez, and the letters are by Hassan Otsmane Elhau. And I think this is my favorite issue so far of the DCKO event. This issue is pretty much just a fighting video game and meets with DC's version of Secret Wars and the original 80s version, and I love it. And a bunch of stuff happens, so the remaining 8 contestants are revealed, and if you didn't read the tie-ins, I'm going to spoil the remaining 8. So we got Superman, Wonder Woman, Joker, Cyborg, Guy Gardner, Aquaman, Lex, and Zatanna. They are the last 8. So the Heart of Apocalypse, the rules of the 3rd round is they got to team up with each other. The 7 of the contestants have to choose a fallen comrade, whether it be a friend or a foe. And since Joker has amassed the most Omega energy during the tournament, he gets to pick anybody he wants. So I liked how some of the layouts they did, you know, kind of the Street Fighter posing homages. So I thought that was cool. And yeah, it ends up Lex, he chooses Supergirl. Superman, he chooses Shazam. Billy Batson. Guy Gardner chooses Hal Jordan. Zatanna chooses Constantine. Cyborg chooses Connor Hawke. What else? Am I forgetting anybody? Let me know if I'm forgetting anybody. So, and then the Joker, he ends up, I thought the reveal of the Joker's partner was pretty cool, and I thought that Scott Snyder was just taking out his toys that he created, and he you think it's supposed to be the Batman Who Laughs, but no, they pull a fast one. It's actually Mr. Mxyzptlk, and I thought that was the highlight of the issue. And just again, the artwork by Zermanico in that particular part was really done well. And this issue is once again all action. Just the fights themselves were very creative. I enjoyed the artwork. Javi Fernandez, who did his parts were illustrated very well, and it's very chaotic, and it's fitting for the type of story this is. And yeah, just there's a part where the artwork, it's Zatanna and Constantine versus Joker and Mxyzptlk, and it turns like the artwork it turns out very trippy, and it's just horrific, and I just thought it was just beautifully done. And there's a part where Barda, she punches Wonder Woman's gauntlets, and that causes like this huge force of energy to just go out, and that's how they win. And yeah, and then there's this one part where it's, you know, Guy Gardner and Hal Jordan, they're taking on Superman and Shazam. And I liked how it referenced Alan Moore's, I believe it's The Man with Everything. Correct me on the title, but it's Alan Moore's Superman story where he gets this alien parasite like attached to his chest, and it like creates these hallucinations or these visuals that Krypton was never destroyed, Superman's living on Krypton, and they referenced that in this issue. So I really thought that was cool, and I think it was in an episode of the Justice League Unlimited, or one of the Justice League the animated shows. They adapted that storyline, so I like the reference to that, and I liked how Lex he used because initially Kara punches the shit out of Lex, so I liked how, you know, it makes sense that she would not want to team up with him. So I thought that part was hilarious, but I thought how Lex can plan to use Kara was very effective, and it was very creative, and it references new story elements that were introduced in the Superman comics. And I'm not going to spoil how that ends, but Lex ends up winning, and there's a part where Superman, he's imbued with Shazam's power, and the visuals were just so anime, and it reminded me, his character design reminded me of Dragon Ball Z. And yeah, there's the last page, it shows a cliffhanger, so spoilers, the last four, the final four in the KO tournament: Superman, Lex Luthor, Wonder Woman, and the Joker. So they're introduced to who they're gonna fight in the next rounds on the last page, and it just involves some of the absolute characters. I won't spoil it. I'll wait for those people who haven't read it to read it first, and then when you read it, come back and let me know your thoughts. But it ended on a great cliffhanger, and I really can't wait for the next issue. And how are they gonna, you know, wrap things up? We got 2 issues left, and this event has just been a really fun time. And it's so dumb, but it's just written really well, and yeah, it's just a fun time. It's what comics should be. So definitely my favorite issue of the week, and you all should be reading DCKO. It's a fun event. The plot is so crazy that it shouldn't work, but it does work. So shout out to Scott Snyder and Williamson and everybody involved with crafting the story. It's been really fun so far, so I definitely recommend. So that was it. Those were just the 2 issues that I read. So let me know what was on your pull list this week. If you read DCKO number 3 or Green Lantern Corps number 12, let me know what your thoughts in the comments. And yeah, just thank you for those who are watching. Leave a like on the video, share it if you can. I would really appreciate it. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. And yeah, so let me know. That's it. Peace out. Read your comics.